Hi everybody, welcome to a very special DAV-Log. Queen scared me there, guys. Let me see if I can turn that down. You know, that's probably a good... Get a little bit closer. Today is the Father's Day DAV-Log. Happy Father's Day, everybody, and to any fathers out there. Today, I'm going to be doing something a little personal here. I'm going into my own little emotional bank here to tell you guys about my dad and the great man that he is. And I say that with all sincerity. He is such a good guy. We haven't always gotten along. I'll say that in the very beginning because it's the truth. I want to be completely honest with you guys. My dad and I have been best of friends and the worst of enemies. The first memory that I have of my dad is playing Super Mario World with him when I was just a little boy, just a little kid. Me and him played that game for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I tell you guys, that was the first video game experience I've ever had in my life. Look at me now, I'm a huge video game nerd and I'm a gamer. I was born a gamer, I was born to be a gamer because of him. So thanks, Dad, for making me a gamer, because I don't know any other way. My dad, my dad was born in 1965 in a small town in Michigan, just outside of Detroit, called Warren, and he grew up there. My grandparents actually still live there, almost 50 years later. I guess it's been over 50 years because my dad's older brother was born there. My dad has 6 siblings, 5 brothers and a sister, and we're all a very, very close family. I know each and every one of them. I know all their kids. I see them all the time. My hero growing up was my dad's brother Rick's son, Duncan. I've talked about him a couple of times here. But, you know, he grew up in that family, and he met my mom in 1989 or maybe 88. We got married in 1990, and I was born 3 years later. I guess they stayed married without kids for a little while, which I think is a pretty smart idea if you ask me. Because you know how babies are, right? So, I was born a few years later, and we started playing Super Mario Bros. 2 years after that. And ever since, in the beginning, my dad was the best friend I ever had. He is a phenomenal guy, and still is a phenomenal guy, and I say that from the bottom of my heart. In 95, 2 years after I was born, my sister was born, and my dad had everything he ever wanted. He had a family of his own. He had a wife who he loves very much and has stuck together with for the past 24 years now. Well, 24 years in October. But he has the 2 best kids in the world, my sister, and of course there's me, the oh so handsome, smart, talented, and awesome DAVideo, David, as he knows me. And you know, it was great. We played Lion King right after that, which was I was the only person in my family, my cousins included, who are better gamers than I am, and I'm the only person in my family who ever beat the Lion King for the SNES, and that's one of my proudest moments as a kid. I tell you guys that much. Nope, I thought the song was ending there. But yeah, my dad is just a great guy. When I was a teenager going through my adolescent days and puberty and all that wonderful crap that every kid goes through and dreams about going through it, my nose is itchy. He taught me that too. Yeah, we didn't get along, and that was, you know, hormones' fault. And my dad is so much to me. He means the world to me. He really does. I love you, Dad. I know you're gonna watch this one because it's your Father's Day present. Smart, right? I love you, Dad. I really do. There it is. I said it out loud. I said it loud and proud on the internet so the whole world knows that I love my dad, Bill. And he really is a great guy. I wouldn't have anything in my life that I have now without him. I wouldn't be born without him, I guess. But my determination, my pride, my ability that I have inside of me to never, ever, ever quit or give up, my faith, hope, and love, I learned all those from him. My Cardinal poster over there that I know all you guys have been wondering about. I live in Michigan. Why do I like the Cardinals? Because they're the best. I wouldn't have the loyalty that I have to certain things without him. I wouldn't like football if it wasn't for my dad, and I love football. That was a weak burp. He taught me how to do that too. I wouldn't have video games without him. I wouldn't have my love for television without him. I wouldn't have my love for reading without him. He is a phenomenal guy, and I am so proud to call him my dad because he is just the best. You know, he is the greatest father that anybody could ever ask for, and I mean that. He's been giving me advice about what to do with my life ever since I was just a little boy, and he's been there for me through all my faults and all my good times. He's the best. He is literally the best person that I know. He's the greatest man that I ever know, and I could do a whole lot worse than end up like him because he's great. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to switch the song over here because the Queen song was over. I'll tell you guys about that song in just a sec here. I'm back, guys. So, about that Queen song, I picked it because it's about a father giving his son advice. I know it's kind of hard to hear the lyrics over my beautiful voice, but that song meant a lot to me because my dad always gave me advice from the time I was a baby growing up. And this one here is by Chesney called There Goes My Life, and it's about a dad who wasn't ready to be a dad particularly, but he ended up loving his kid, and that sounded to me like my dad. Not that he wasn't ready to be a dad when he had me, but to be honest, no parent's ready to be a parent when they first have their kid. So, you know, just both songs mean a lot to me. I'm a big fan of Scrubs, and there's a very good line that Dr. Cox gives to JD, and it's I don't care what your dad has done to you, because to be completely honest, he could have done a whole lot worse of a job than he did. And I think of that when my dad and I are fighting, which seems to happen every year these days, but I love my dad still. And I think of that line every time I fight with my dad, because it's just, we're human. We don't know what we're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody plans to ever do anything. Well, that's not entirely true, but I love the song, guys. Yeah, I always think of that because my dad and I fight a lot, but he could have done a whole lot worse of a job than he did. And I look at my life and it's so luxurious. I have a great computer here that I use this for in all my games. I have a great bedroom here. I have a great house here. I have free food. I have free internet. I have free television. I get video games that I buy myself, but you know, he bought the Xbox. He bought the computer. I have everything in my life is because of him. Even the intangible qualities like my pride, my loyalty that I have, my ability to always look at somebody who has wronged me and still love them anyway, my ability to love everybody and every person. My dad means the world to me, and he is just a great guy. He's a guy who always kept to himself. He's somebody who will just always be that way, a person who keeps to himself, and he speaks his mind when he has a thought that needs to be said. But other than that, he won't talk on the phone for an hour like I will. He won't just talk to anybody who he sees. He needs to get to know somebody first before he talks to them. But he's a great guy. He's really smart. He's dedicated so much to this family. He has given up so many things in his life and replaced them with everything that this family is. He is just such a good guy, and I am going to be completely honest here and say that even though we don't always get along, I have the greatest father in the entire world, and I will say that until the day I die, that my father is the greatest father I can ever imagine having. He is an awesome guy. He is an awesome, awesome guy. And, you know, when I have kids, and I plan to have kids this decade, I don't know, between 2014 and 2024, I want to have my own kids. And I want to end up like my dad. I hope and pray that I can be as good of a father as he is and was. Well, I guess he still is a father, so was doesn't really work. But I love my dad. And I hope that all of you out there tell your dads that you love them and do something very special for them on today, because it's Father's Day and you got to celebrate the person who gave you everything that you have in your life. So anybody out there who's a father, happy Father's Day to you. Anybody who's a kid out there, make sure your dad and your father feels like he's a very, very good person, and you've given him your love today on this wonderful Father's Day that we all have today. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys enjoy Father's Day, alright? I am DAVideo, and I am leaving now. I'm signing off. It's been a long video, guys. Alright, you guys take care. Have a wonderful Father's Day. Goodbye, guys. Dad, I love you. Happy Father's Day.